I bid you good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Guys, don't forget to check out the channel. Don't forget to throw me a tip on the tip jar, Patreon, I'm on everything. Just BitTubers, I'm on everything. Guys, I need to throw this video up. It is very important that you guys, I need to get this out. This was emailed to me 13 times today. And I want to thank everyone for drawing my attention to this because it's a big deal. I don't know if you guys remember during doing trends in the housing market, way back, there was an episode, I think it was episode 56. There's 160 episodes. Episode 56. When I was talking about the middle class, working poor, the people that actually contribute to the infrastructure are leaving, these cities are going to have deficits to pay. Last year, or during the provincial election, I had somebody on the show named Moby from Ontario. We discussed, my main concern was, how are they going to flip these city deficits when everyone that actually pays property taxes and actually contributes to the infrastructure is leaving? Well, and then they're like, well, Mike, they're going to have to raise taxes or find a way to raise taxes. I'm like, wow. Well, they're doing it in Toronto. And if you think the video I did last month about the guy that's paying $4,500 a month for property tax for a little hairdressing small place, look at this one. Don't tax the heart out of Toronto. Independent businesses struggle to survive as taxes skyrocket. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to, you're going to think this is a joke or this is like a satire or something, but it's not. Already burdened by the rising cost of rent, wages, and inventory in Toronto, small independent businesses are struggling to survive after years under a tax system they're calling unfair and perverse. It's killing the heart of Toronto, said Frédéric Geisweiller, owner of the Sélect French bistro on Wellington Street West. Geisweiller has seen his property tax spike enormously. In 2006, the owner of the popular restaurant was paying $31,000 a year. The number has since jumped to $204,000. This is not pesos, guys. This is $204,000 Canadian for property taxes, like $146,000 American for property tax for a property they probably already own. And this is what I had when I had the Roma Chronicle on the show the other day, and I had the uneducated economist, and I asked, are you going to start to see, I even asked Supreme Canon, are you going to start to see people walking away from these properties, even if they own them, because they can't afford the property tax, leaving them abandoned, because no one's going to pay the rent that high, unless you're selling gold or bullion or so. I don't even know. You can't even make it off the commissions off that. So it's got to be something, right? So I kind of, it's like I even asked them, I straight up, how are they going to do this? Are you going to start seeing abandoned restaurants / small businesses, buildings where, one, it can't be rented, and two, no one's going to pay the rent, and then the owner doesn't want to pay property taxes on an empty unit. So this is very dangerous territory we're going down, and it's not the first. This is, yeah. Oh, yeah. Geisweiller has seen property taxes spike enormously, so from 2006, the owner of a popular restaurant was paying $31,000 a year. The number has since jumped to $204,000. There is no relief in sight. It keeps going up, said Geisweiller. If nothing changes, he predicts he's going to be paying $310,000 in the next 4 years, which will be completely unsustainable, he says, even for a successful business like his that has been the staple of the community for decades. Wow, look at this. So by this $310,000, you would think that would be like in Bolivarize or in like Argentinian peso or something. That's Canadian dollars. That's the unintended effect of these assessment values literally killing small businesses. Guys, it's been a long day. I'm tired. But I got to do this for you guys. It's called the highest and best use assessment that is completed by the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, MPAC, an agency of the province. So it's a municipal, remember, municipal taxes, property taxes, funding for the municipalities that everyone's leaving from. Well, they're going to have to flip these bills. The cities have to, what they're going to do, they're going to punish. So now listen to the predicament we're in today, okay? Everybody was fighting and having a tough time to get into the market. The ones that didn't get in are the lucky ones. You know why? Because now they're faced with this property tax on the back end that's basically taking away anything they could have been gaining equity, like equity in their homes or whatever. The back end is the property tax. So now you're punished. You're punished for owning property now. The MPAC assesses properties based on its most likely market value, taking into account its maximum possible density and height. Oh, that's not fair. They can't do that. So what they're doing is, they technically, if the restaurant could go 20 stories high, they're going to tax it to that. That should be illegal because there's no, wow. The mafia wouldn't even pull something like this. Wow. Sometimes like Select's case, that means property value may be influenced as properties around it are sold and rezoned as condos. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, they get allocated, or they get into a build plan where they get them all in. It doesn't matter. Geisweiller doesn't want to sell. It's unfair that I am paying for all that space that is above me, and I don't use it. And I don't use that someone could theoretically use, said Geisweiller. We cannot pay taxes on a building that doesn't exist. So it's not even there, but they're paying on it. Sélect has been fighting the increases for 4 years since the last tax assessment in 2016. It was imposed at the estimated 1,100 businesses across the city. I think this is a side effect of law that was not well thought out when it was first implemented, he said. He is spearheading the movement against the highest and best use assessment. His online petition has more than 22,000 signatures, and he's even got city councilors on the side. Guys, there's the online petition here. If you guys want to go on and actually throw something out there to support this cause, because this is not good. The way that the assessments are being carried out by the MPAC is oftentimes about projected inflationary values that have nothing to do with the current realistic income that's being produced in those properties, said City Councilor Christina Wong Tam. The next assessment will come in 2020. Okay, guys, so here's the deal. This, I gotta get my calculator. It's a lot of money, man. You could buy a mansion in West Palm Beach for that much money in 1 year in property tax. Okay, so 300, wow. So let's just break this down. Let me just get my trusty calculator out here real quick for you guys. Okay, so let's say here, 204,000. Divided into 12, 17,000 for property tax per month. So it should be roughly 6.3. So that restaurant needs to make 107,100 per month. That 6.3 is a conversion that's given for staffing and other overheads, right? So that restaurant needs to pull in 107,000 per month. Wow, that's a lot of money for a restaurant. Because you subtract the property tax from that, then you have wages, then you have readmittance, you have all that stuff to do, then you got insurance, you have all that. Oh, that's a lot of money, man. City of Toronto implements 10% cap on property tax increases. Oh, okay, we'll put a cap at 10%. But that's like saying, like, yeah, I don't even know. Oh, yeah. It's like you're going to pay off your mortgage off. You won the lottery. Oh, no, you can only pay 10% of your mortgage off. You can't pay the whole thing off now. They're going to start doing that. I just gave them the bankers an idea. I got to be careful with what I'm saying here. After MPAC sets a value for the property, the City of Toronto then determines the business tax rate. That's just, it's pure criminal. It's pure criminal. How did they determine that? Oh, well, I see all these people in there. He should be paying, giving us more money. Man, I really feel bad for this restaurant owner. Oh my God. To fight the skyrocketing prices, City Council approved 10% cap on property tax increases last year after the outcry from the community. We all realize that this is not a permanent fix, said Wong Tam. The City of Toronto has to forego revenues in order for that cap to take place. Right? But at the same time, without that 10% tax cap, there's a very good chance that hundreds of businesses would collapse. Oh, that's going to be 100%. Wong Tam has suggested that creating a separate tax group for small businesses, a solution City has so far shied away from. Why? They're going to lose money. Claire Nelshear, the researcher for the Ryerson City Building Institute, helped conduct the school's taxed out study that is looking into the issue. What we're hearing from the property owners is that while that is overall much needed relief for 10% is not sufficient to meet their needs and really protect against the threat of rising property taxes over the long run, said Neil Shear. But here's the deal. It's just going to be like I said. Now, I've been actually positively predicting a lot. The only thing I couldn't predict was the real estate crash, because we don't know first time home buyers loans. That Mickey Mouse one. Oh, 100% loan to value, sign here. You don't have to put nothing down. Like all this Mickey Mousing, that's not in the basic textbook Business 101. If this was basic textbook Business 101, we've already would have seen a reset a long time ago. But they want to keep this going. So looking at a comprehensive look from the city, Ontario MPAC working on a long-term solution. Simple solution, a senior member of Toronto Board Trade said he's hopeful change will come. And a city in need of independent businesses by the numbers. Yeah, the problem is, and we've discussed this, right? Independent businesses account for 74% of establishment and 32% of total employment in Toronto retail stores. This is what's funding the private sector, right? So let's say if they could get the employment rate up to, let's say, 49% in these private sector businesses, then they wouldn't have to worry about, you wouldn't have to worry about raising the property taxes that high, because people's wages that are being taxed on is basically helping to fund the city's deficits, right? But wow. But because it was the last time this happened was during the Eisenhower administration, where the money that were given to the companies, a lot of it went to the workers' hands, because this way they knew they could help stimulate the economy by going out and spending and buying more things and actually growing, right? Because you're buying stuff from your neighbor. You're keeping it, because everything back then, a majority of it was made in the U.S. anyway. So you're keeping your brother employed, basically. And that Reagan administration did that whole buy a car locally from your brother, keep him employed, right? Independent businesses in retail consumer services sector employ 647,000 people, 42% of jobs in Toronto. Yep, and with these places closing and Taco Bell's now over the fire, from what I've been hearing, all kinds of stuff. Even Walmart's thinking of closing. Yep. Over 90% of Toronto's residents prefer independent businesses for specialty food, personal services, restaurants, and bar. Main streets are key locations for independent business. The last few years, 2013 and 2019, have seen some changes to the availability of affordable locations for small businesses. 23% of businesses survey responds who rent space indicated that securing affordable space was a significant challenge impacting their business success. So Ryerson's taxed out study highlighted several businesses that have either been closed or struggling to survive in Toronto due to property taxes. Here are some of them. So Cat's Cradle, 98 years in business. Wow. Like these little places, why are they paying so much in property tax for? You can't make that up. You can't. Le Sélect, business for 41 years. Property taxes are $204,000 at the time when they closed. 401 Richmond, I'm not sure what that is there. Oh, that's the restaurant. Is that the one we're talking about here? No, this is somewhere here near Spadina. Property tax. The status under new tax regime. And then Artscape. Oh my God, Charlie the dog was found safe. You see what they put on the news? Oh, Charlie! Oh, thank God, Charlie made it. So, guys, this is it, guys. This is a huge deal. So it started out like I've been talking about this for years. Look, it's So here it is, people. This is the very important article. Wow, this is from London, England. 620,000 white people moved out of London. Wow. But this is an important one. Why? Because it's the local people that are born and raised in these cities. Aboriginals and whites leaving Metro Vancouver for other regions. So a net total of 9,345 whites and 416 Indigenous people. That's 2016. It doubled for 2017. It almost tripled in 2018. And 2019 is record numbers. My street is a good example. Like a very small, simple example. I moved into this cul-de-sac here. I bought my house for $260. I was the only guy on the coast on my street. There's about 11 houses in this whole cul-de-sac here, right? Now, there's only one person local from town left on the street. He's selling. And everything else is everybody's from Vancouver, which we got bought out of. And one person is from Kamloops. But everybody else is from Vancouver that moved here. Because we escaped the expensive cost of living. This is very dangerous when people that are born and raised in their country can't live in their own cities they're born and raised in. And the problem is with Canada, we discussed this on Mike in the Night, is the problem with Canada is it's very hard to immigrate to another country from Canada. It's really hard, right? I have a European citizenship. I'm Portuguese. I could take off if I have to. But for Canadians that hold a Canadian passport, nothing else, it's really tough for them to go. They just can't move to the U.S. as a Canadian. It's really tough to get anywhere. So if you have to become a housing refugee, because that's what it is. You're running away from the house prices to go live somewhere more affordable, and professionals are doing this. And where there's a brain drain in Canada, guys, we're in a lot of trouble. We are in a heap of trouble. And I don't know where things are going to head. I don't know, man. Guys, don't forget to join me Saturday night on Mike in the Nights, 9 p.m. Western Seaboard time. We're going to be taking calls in for 2020 predictions where people think things are going to be headed. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. My channel's weird. I just don't get any subscribers. And then sometimes they open it and then I get the subscribers and then I was sitting at 11,300 subscribers for 5 months and never moved up or down. So get my channel out there. Share this on any social media platform. I really don't care. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a great weekend.